The following podcast is an RMG Media production.
Hey, Renaissance Podcast listeners, Sydney here, and I'm so excited because we are taking our conference for women entrepreneurs to the Lowcountry, Charleston, South Carolina on December 6, 2023. Y'all, this is a dream come true for me. This is an event that we've done in Nashville for the last few years, and I'm obsessed with all things Charleston, and I'm obsessed with the women in business community there. So we're going to be bringing it there because that's what we're doing. So get ready to learn from successful women entrepreneurs, connect with like-minded women, gain practical insights and strategies, and all things business, branding, marketing, accounting, operations, leadership, mentorship, community, and more to take your business to the next level. Early bird tickets go on sale on June 1st. You are not going to want to miss this promotion, you guys. It's the lowest price offering that we will have for tickets. They will be on sale from June 1st to August 1st, and then they will go up to full price starting August 1. So you're going to want to go ahead and get your tickets. The event is happening right around the holidays, so this is a perfect Christmas gift for you or a girlfriend, and we just want you to be there with us. Don't miss it. It's going to be amazing, and you can get your tickets at renaissancewomenscharleston.com. That is www.renaissancewomenscharleston.com. See you there. Welcome to the Renaissance Podcast, a podcast for Renaissance women
and men
who want to create a modern-day Renaissance in their life and business.
We interview some of the most successful entrepreneurs and share their unique stories.
Are you ready to create your Renaissance? To give a shout out, we were just talking, I wanted to give a shout out to Gretchen from Hey Creative because I saw her this week and she said she never misses an episode. And I was like, really?
It's real cool.
Even the guy ones? And she's like, I think it's cool that you have guys on. And she was like, she's like, I'm looking for other podcasts, and she's like, it's kind of hard to find ones that are like yours. And I really love it. And she even was like, I kind of wish y'all had more than just one a week. And I was like, that's so
that is
cool.
crazy.
That's really cool.
That's really cool. So
Yeah.
shout out to Ashley for bringing Gretchen into my life and Rita.
Gretchen's amazing. I love her.
We love Hey Creative.
It blows my mind when we go to these events and people are like, oh, listen to the podcast. That just is so weird to me.
Yeah.
So we've
weird.
have listeners and a fan and
We do.
Yeah, we
I
do.
see the numbers go up every single
every
week.
week. Yeah,
Like,
it increases.
Or last summer, this was like right after the Shannon Stewart episode came out, and I had to go to a funeral, and I saw my cousin, and I was like going down the line, and she's like, I listened to your podcast. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like,
That is kind of cool.
yeah.
I love it.
It's a ton of fun.
It's really cool because this is really kind of like just like a passion project of ours.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool, I think it helps me not get burned out. I don't know about you guys, but like having these like little, and we're about to talk about our Charleston adventure. That's what this whole episode is titled after and everything. But like being able to have the business, but then have these other little things that we do, like the summit and like our Renaissance Women Nights events, and then like the podcast, it just gets me out of the everyday.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I agree. I've been looking forward to this all week. I had an outfit dilemma this morning because I was like, I'm going to be on the podcast today. What do I wear? I tried on like 3 different outfits. I was late today. I showed up at like 9:05.
You're never late.
Like
Yeah.
9:10 because I didn't know what to wear.
All for the
I was
pod.
also trying to dress like an influencer for influencer night. It's just a whole thing.
I
Put on
know.
like a bowling shirt.
I told
Well, you
Ashley,
kind of look like Rainbow Row. Yeah.
you look like
I
Charleston.
kind of fit Charleston.
Yeah.
So
Look at that.
It's a
Great
vibe.
segue. I didn't go on the trip, but you guys just got back from Charleston doing a site visit for the second summit of the year. Technically, it's not the summit. It's a conference. Different,
Yep.
but still equally as amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, we are differentiating, just so the folks know,
Yes.
the summit from the conference, which
Yes.
can be confusing, but it's working in our minds, so we're running with it.
Yeah.
So the summit is our flagship pinnacle every single year in Nashville. Big women
Massive.
entrepreneurship.
Everest
It's
summit.
our Everest.
Yeah.
And then the conference is the smaller but not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
It's still impressive.
Still impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Event that takes place in different cities, and we're bringing it to Charleston, South Carolina, December 6th, 2023. So we're doing 2 this year, and then we're currently planning this one with 2024 Nashville at the same time.
Yes.
It's really fun.
But it is.
Yeah. I love the summit. It just lights me up. Because I think coming from the events world, which I'm so glad I don't do that full time anymore. Like, I'm so glad that's not my full-time job, 9 to 5, because it's not 9 to 5, it's just crazy hours. And I think that's a industry that it's really easy to get burnout in, but I still do have a passion for it. So it's fun to and especially an event like the summit, like the Charleston event, that it's so women focused. It's just uplifting women, empowering women. So it's so much fun.
Yeah.
So Ashley had never been to Charleston.
Never been. Yeah.
I had barely been.
Yeah.
We were only there for what?
36 hours.
36 hours, but we saw a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys covered a lot.
We lived those 36 hours to the fullest. Let me tell you. It was a wild, honestly,
Well, let's
from
go ahead
Monday
and start.
to Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was a wild ride.
You guys almost didn't make it because Sydney can't be on time to anything. And I guess that happened. That you didn't make it to the airport and you missed your flight.
I mean, we were texting. All right,
Whose
go
fault
back.
was it?
Well, go back to the night before when you called me. Take us back to Monday night last week. when you called me.
Monday night. I'm not feeling great Monday. It had been weekend after Taylor Swift. I hadn't been feeling great for a while. I thought it was terrible allergies, just been feeling run down.
But she doesn't stop.
No.
She
I
keeps
never
going.
stop. I don't stop.
We thought it was post Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I did. I was kind of out of it on Monday. I made the same graphic 3 times. Maddie was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't think so." But my throat hurt so bad I couldn't swallow. And so I'm texting all my friends that I went to Taylor Swift with because none of us had voices. And I'm like, "Yo, my throat hurts so bad I can't swallow. I think I need to get my tonsils out." And one of my friends was like, "I think you might have mono. Maybe go get tested." And I'm like, "No, I can't. I'm going to Charleston tomorrow." And my other friend was like, "Well, if you want to go to Charleston, then definitely go get tested because they might give you a steroid shot or something, kind of help you feel better." So I'm like, "Okay." So I go to the Green Hills Kroger Little Clinic after work, and they test me for mono, and I tested positive. And said that, but she called me in a steroid. And because I was like, "Well, I'm supposed to go to Charleston for work tomorrow." And they were like, "Well, you can still go because it's airborne or it's not airborne. You just so you can still go. You just might feel run down." And then I'm also Snapchatting all my friends from college. And I'm like, "I have mono, but I'm supposed to go to Charleston." And my friend that's a doctor was like, "You can still go." She was like, "You're not going to feel great, but you can still go." So I'm like, "Okay, my doctor friend is telling me to go. I'm fine." And to the amount of cheer competitions and stuff I did growing up with strep throat or the flu, my 2nd grade talent show, I had the flu and the doctor was like, she can't do it tonight. And I literally come home and I'm like, "No, Mom, I'm going."
It's the most Ashley thing ever.
Yeah, I was like, the dance to the Cheetah Girls. I choreographed this whole thing.
I missed that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm not missing that. And I called my mom too. And my mom was like, "I think you need to go." She was like, "You'll be fine. You need to go." And so I call Sydney and tell Sydney. And I'm like, "But I'm fine. I can go. I'm fine." So
meanwhile, you're fine, but Sydney's having a boss dilemma. She calls me and she's like, "I don't want to make it seem like I want Ashley to go because she's sick, but also I want Ashley to go."
I didn't want to be I was I felt so bad.
When you sent me that voice memo, I was like, "I think she's telling me to not go, but I really want to go." And I called my roommate and I was like, "Can you come downstairs? I'm having a panic attack." I was like, "I think my boss doesn't want me to go, but I really want to go." And my roommate was like, "You need to she's like, you need to rest. You need to sleep." And I was like, "I'm still going to Charleston."
I know. It was so funny because I called Walker because I was like, I really want her to go, but I don't want to seem like a bad boss. And I feel like the right thing to do is just say, sleep because that's the mom in me, and I do think that was probably the right thing.
That was 100% probably the right thing to do.
You had like the angel and devil on your shoulder, and I was like,
I'm always going to listen to the devil, probably.
I know,
which is not good, but.
And then I tried to convince Walker, and then Walker was like, that probably is the best thing. And then Walker was like, I'm not going. And then you were like trying to get me to go by myself. And I was like,
go on your own.
I'm not going to Charleston alone. I'm not doing that. It's not a thing that I'm doing.
Can you imagine if you went alone and got your phone stolen?
No, that would have been
That would have been hilarious.
Well, probably worse things would have happened to me if I was alone, because let's be honest, I don't travel
that's
well
a little
alone.
foreshadowing to the story, because we haven't even gotten to them on the plane.
Okay.
No, so then.
we get to the airport.
Did I ever tell you that my Uber driver made me cry? My first Uber driver.
Oh my God.
You said he was really mean to you.
Yeah, the first Uber driver. So we scheduled. Well, I was just also like, I was exhausted. I had mono.
Your
Taylor
flight
Swift
was at like
hangover.
5 a.m.
Flight was at like.
We had to be there at 5.
Well, our original flight was at 6, and then we had to switch flights because our connecting flight got delayed, or the original flight got delayed, so they had to switch us. So the flight was at 6:30, but I'd already scheduled my Uber for like 4:15 that morning. I'd also been up since 1:30 because I just don't sleep, especially like before a big trip. I just I don't sleep.
We're the same. I didn't sleep either.
And so, but then you had texted me and you were like, I scheduled my Uber for like 5 since our flight's not till 6:30 now. Well, my original scheduled Uber got there, but he showed up early, and like the Uber app tells you, it's like your Uber driver will wait for you.
Right, yeah.
Well, at this point it's like 4:40 and I haven't come outside yet. And you text me and you're like, my Uber's not getting me till like 5:10. So I'm like, okay, I've got plenty of time. Well, the Uber calls me and he's like, are you coming? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And he was like, 5 minutes? I've been sitting out here for 30. And then I cried, and then I canceled it and called another Uber because I was like, I just can't do this. I was like, I can't deal with rude people. I was like, I have mono. It's 4:00 in the morning. I'm not doing this. So I cried and canceled my Uber and then called another one.
Oh my God, that's
hilarious.
hilarious.
She was perfectly fine in the airport.
Yeah.
You would picture her to be like dying, and I like call her and I'm like, I'm here. Where are you? And she was over by where the start of the line, which we'll get to.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just waving at me like, hey. And I'm like, hey.
It's so funny.
So we get to the Nashville airport, which Ashley talks about more eloquently than me because she's more well-traveled than I am. But it was post Taylor Swift weekend. So there was
3 graduations.
So there was an extra 500,000 people in Nashville, as we know. The Taylor concert, we flew out Tuesday. The Taylor concert went, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night show. And then people stayed in town Monday because Taylor didn't go on stage till 11 p.m. and got off stage at 2 a.m., whatever. Yeah. And then people stayed. And so a lot of people were like, oh, y'all are going to have an issue. I did have people warn me, people are going to be flying home from graduations and from Taylor Swift on Tuesday. But I was still like, meh, it'll be fine. Yeah. It's an international airport. It'll be good. We'll get there at 5.
We're not checking bags. Like we carried on.
We carried on. So Ashley and I get to the line, and we're not really that worried at the point. We're just kind of like, it's a line.
Yeah.
Well, the line didn't really move.
It didn't move at all.
And it was really early.
And there was so they've redone the Nashville airport, and the Nashville airport used to have 2 separate securities. Yeah. There used to be like the security on the left side or the right side that was like American, United, Delta.
Yeah, it used to be split.
And then there's a side that was like Southwest. Well, now they've redone it, and you all go through one. And not all of the bays were open either.
Right.
Like not all of the like security bays
were like usually so quick no matter what.
It's usually like I've gone through when it like the Southwest side was super busy, but you move and you get through it. And it's like really not that big of a deal. But this one,
like they weren't, I think, well staffed. I think they didn't have a full staff.
No one was prepared for what Taylor Swift was bringing to Nashville.
And no one was a business traveler. We noticed that. It was all Taylor Swift era shirts and like families.
Yeah, because
like little kids.
People who travel for business travel quick. Because they don't want to be at the airport that long. So they're like, a lot of them probably are going through TSA, but like pre-check. But I mean, they're quick travelers. Even my dad, who used to travel all the time for work, even when he travels for leisure, he's a quick traveler. Yeah. Like we're in and out of there. Right. He's like,
think about Nashville. Everyone that's leaving is hungover, tired. Yeah. They probably got worse than mono. They're just getting out of Broadway, just like a war zone. They're not moving fast.
Yeah, the girls behind us were in cowboy hats.
Oh, yeah.
It was a whole thing.
We were like, and so now that I think about it, it took us like really an hour and a half to get through.
Then you missed your flight.
So Ashley, we got through, we finally made it. Ashley and I are looking at each other like,
it's like 6:27.
And we're looking at each other and Ashley's like, maybe we should go up to the people in front of us and say, hey, we're going to miss our flight. So I was like, shit, I don't know. I just felt like that wasn't going to work because I felt like people would say tough shit. Like I really, so
fuck off.
But we did tell the women working in the security line, we were like, we're going to miss our flight. And they were like, we don't care.
Yeah.
They're so mean.
They didn't care.
She did try to push our bags up because we like scooted around the like long line of people just like with all that had undressed essentially, and take the shoes off and everything. And so we scooted around. She pushed our bags forward, but then Sydney's bag gets pulled.
So Ashley's like sweating. I'm sweating.
And
Sydney's like, just go. See if you can hold the plane.
Like, hold the plane.
You can hold the plane.
Yeah. I'm so ambitious. I'm like, Ashley, run and see if you can hold the plane. So Ashley is like running. I'm like freaking out. I'm like,
meanwhile, too, they tell you with mono that you can't exercise at all. They're like, no physical activity. As I sprint through the Nashville airport, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, another good boss move. I'm like, sprint! Mono girl, sprint!
It's just like Home Alone when they're running through. Run, Rudolph.
It's literally like Home Alone. And then I'm sprint. And then she finally checks my bag. There's nothing. There's nothing. Yeah. There's no weapons. There's no drugs. There's nothing. It's a pink suitcase.
You're not smuggling drugs?
I didn't have any weed on me at all.
Damn.
I know.
You probably wished you did.
At that point, I really needed it. And so I follow Ashley, I call her, and she's like, I'm almost there. And I'm like, okay, I'm almost there. And then we hang up, and then I see her like with her head hung, looking really sad at the beginning of the gate. And I'm just like, we missed it. And I go up to her and I'm like, did we? And she's like, yeah.
But
you made it there at like 6:29 or something.
But when I made it there, it already said like boarding closed.
So sad.
So yeah, and we both never missed a flight before.
That's never
It's
happened.
like my biggest fear is missing a flight.
It was really a bummer. Because we also had a meeting that afternoon that we were gonna make, which we ended up making it to, which was amazing that we did. We were very late, but we did make it. But we had to rebook a flight, so we went up to the Southwest counter. No.
We went up to the American counter. American couldn't get us there till like 5 o'clock. And we were like, had a meeting at 1 or 12:30 and then a meeting at 3. We were like, we got to get there. And then luckily there was a Southwest flight. The Southwest counter was like across from the American counter. So I ran over there. I'm like, hey, is there a flight to Charleston? And she's like, yeah, there is. And there's 2 seats left. Get online and book it. And so we did.
It was expensive, but we did.
Yeah, I remember checking the bank account. I was like, why the fuck are there like 15 plane tickets? What's going on?
We had a lot of plane tickets.
Because
they went ahead and rerouted us on the American flight.
Which would have been the free one, but we couldn't get there at 5. So we had to like take that expense, which just at that point at 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., when you're exhausted, you have mono, you're tired. You
missed a flight.
You're like, fuck it. I'll just pay whatever. Yeah. So we did. We jumped on we flew Southwest. Whatever. These are details no one needs to know about. But so we get on the plane, we make it.
Yeah.
And then we go to our first meeting, which was lovely with my sister-in-law, Joni. Shout out Joni and the women in construction of Charleston. We're talking to them. And from there, we go to our next meeting.
Yes.
Which was eventful.
That was very eventful.
And expensive. Also,
that one turned very expensive.
So we had a meeting.
It was a great meeting.
It was a great meeting. We're not going to name the business, but we were at a business having a meeting. And somehow, and I'm going to own it. I own my forgetfulness. I own my my Sydney-ness, if you will.
Yep.
And I leave my things places.
It's a character trait.
It is I don't know if was I like that before having the baby?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't blame it on
now
postpartum.
You just blame it on the kid.
Now I just blame it on.
You've always been like that.
I've always been a little forgetful with things like that. So I tend to be very trusting also with things. Like I left my laptop at a photo shoot the other day, and they brought it to me. Thankfully,
you left that at Collective.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know.
She told me, and I said that's so on brand.
So on brand.
That is so funny.
I just leave things. I leave really expensive things places.
Oh my God.
I know, it's great. So I left my phone, I think, in the bathroom. I think in the bathroom of this place that we were. And come back in, we finish the meeting, we wrap, we go back to the car where we had paid for parking with the QR code, like on the phone or whatever.
Yeah, so you had your phone.
So I knew that I had brought my phone in because we had paid. And, phone's gone. I look at my Apple Watch because I can call my phone from my Apple Watch and it's on like disconnect mode where it's like the phone with a red slash through it, which means you've disconnected from your phone, which means it's not in the car, which means it's not in my bag, which means it's not on me, which means it's at the restaurant place. So we go back inside and I'm like, it's a very small place. Like it's a small business.
Yeah.
And there was no one in there. There was a sweet old couple and there was nobody else there except for the staff.
Yeah.
And so we look everywhere. I'm like looking in the bathrooms, not there. We look in the trash can at one point.
Yeah.
Ashley was like, maybe you threw it away.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it accidentally got thrown away.
And
I wouldn't put it past Sydney.
at one point I was like, what? And then I was like, well.
I was like, I don't know. Well,
and then so we're digging through the trash. We're like, Ashley's like lifting up to see if we feel that.
I'm like, is it heavy? I was like, do we feel anything? Because like the trash can just had paper towels. And it was like, does it feel heavy? Does it feel like there's a phone in here?
We go back and we look and we've got, the team, they're like helping us, whatever. I've opened my laptop so I can text, Nick because I've got the baby and the nanny and just wanted people to know. Obviously, I'm with Ashley who has my people's numbers or whatever. I wasn't that worried, but I still wanted to be like, because I could still text from that phone from my computer. So I was texting Nick and I told him and he instantly was able to track the phone.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to for whatever reason, but Nick in Tennessee was able to because he's of course. That's just such a Nick thing.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh, well, I'm tracking it. It's there. Like it's at the restaurant.
But we didn't figure that out until we got to the AT&T store, right? Or did we figure that out at the restaurant?
You're right. We figured it out at the AT&T store. You're right. Yeah. Sorry. I get carried away. But we ended up leaving the business. We go to the AT&T store to like see if they can help us with the situation and what.
Because just working in social media, I just feel like you can't not have a phone.
No,
I've almost lost my phone before at an event. It was a Heels and Handshakes event and I set my phone down and then someone put a bin on top of it. And we were cleaning up and truly thought someone had swiped my phone on accident and was like, and I mean,
straight panic.
It's a panic, especially too working in social media, having a marketing job. You just need a phone.
Oh, I hate. Yeah,
my whole life is on this.
It's
thing.
Everything. Yeah,
my whole life is on my phone.
Honestly, I'd rather lose my wallet than lose my phone. I think.
Same. I think
Maybe.
so. I mean, So we go to the AT&T store in Charleston. Lovely store. Shout out
to the AT&T store in Charleston.
To the Charleston, the one on the water.
One next to the Publix.
Next to the Publix, with the really nice Publix.
People care so much.
Those guys, they were so
nice.
They were
He was
so
the
nice.
nicest man. They might sponsor the summit. I said something about sponsoring the summit, and he was very interested.
He looked at his boss and was like, we could do conferences, and they nodded. So they might be a vendor. And we will tell this story at Charleston.
Well, we have, AT&T as our provider for the business.
Shout out.
And they're great. It's affordable, always have service. So
it's affordable until you lose your phone and you buy another one.
Yeah.
But so
sometimes you got to pay a stupid tax.
We did track the phone. It was either in that business or somewhere in that building is what we decided because it was tracked there. And then at 5 o'clock that night, we saw Nick texted me that it was on the move. So it was going, and then we ended up tracking it to an apartment building somewhere. And at that point, I just decided I was just going to take the loss. Nick did go on a Charleston Facebook group and found a bunch of iPhone 13s for sale. And he was like, what? And I was some of them didn't have pictures, some of them did. And I was like, that one's not mine, whatever. Who knows what happened? The moral of the story is, don't
leave your phone in the bathroom.
Don't leave your phone places, I guess.
That's a good one.
I guess. I mean, I just need to work on that. I do is I go to the bathroom and I sit it on the toilet paper thing,
and then you forget it.
And then I forget it. That's
now,
my thing.
I feel like it does suck being women. You guys don't have pockets. That's a pain.
Well, usually do have pockets. I'm not really
Well, you can't back pocket, and you can't fit a phone in those stupid little front pockets.
Yeah.
So there's no way. I have
That's
got
true.
multiple pockets, and
All
it's
the
acceptable.
time.
This is just, one of those inequality things where they just make it into one of those.
Make better phone pockets.
Make phone pockets for women. Make that a thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I need like a magnet bracelet or something that I can just
That'd be cool.
magnet. I don't know. Like I just need to be able to I don't know. But so that was a bummer, but AT&T came in clutch.
Yeah.
We got
Sweetest
another
little
phone.
man stayed late for us. He was so nice.
He was so nice. They closed, whatever. So we've probably bored people with this story, but
They're like, I just want to know about the Charleston conference.
We're gonna get
Holy
there.
Yeah, we're gonna get
shit.
there.
it was an adventure.
Well, and then the day didn't stop there.
No.
The day didn't stop there. Then we went to dinner with Joni and her husband, who are lovely. And dinner was wonderful. 167 raw. If you go to Charleston, go there.
Yeah.
So good.
I think
So good.
Charleston, one of the main reasons why I was so excited, why the conference decided to happen in Charleston is the first outside of Nashville places was for the food.
Yeah.
I went last year with Bailey for her birthday, and it was the most mind-blowing
We had such good food.
culinary
Two
experience.
incredible meals.
Yeah.
There.
So good.
I don't know what else we ate. Probably just
The sandwich shop.
The
that was
sandwich
so
shop
good.
across from the Tiny Tassel. We had two. I'm so glad we ended up having really good food experiences because it would have been on brand for us to have
Not.
not.
That's the good thing about Charleston is I feel like you can't. It is
You can't have bad food.
You can't have bad food. It
Yeah.
is literally a culinary mecca. It's so good. So I'm pumped.
good.
I'm pumped on it.
So we go to dinner.
Yes, we're sitting outside. It's a beautiful evening.
Beautiful evening.
The restaurant's on King Street. We stroll King Street. We're laughing about our day, having a time.
We're just romanticizing in the city because the city, King Street closes early on a Tuesday. It was it wasn't like we were saying how downtown Nashville, it's just insane on a Tuesday night, but downtown Charleston on a Tuesday night, there was nobody.
No.
Yeah.
And the shops were closed and you could see Louis Vuitton and all the most beautiful storefronts. And we're perusing, we're waiting on our table. We go to our table, we're sitting outside in this little courtyard that's got
so
palm
cute.
trees and really good wine. You had a really good cocktail and we're just enjoying. And then the girls sitting across from us, they just all of a sudden, all these leaves start falling on them. Like leaves, like it's fall. It's the All Too Well music video, Taylor's version.
Autumn leaves falling down.
Like pieces into place.
Yeah.
Sorry, we do
That's
that.
great. Yep.
So all these leaves start falling and they're like, what's happening? And this insane wind starts happening.
Yeah.
And then it's raining.
Yeah.
Basically. We didn't really get rained on.
We didn't get rained on, but I did when I brushed my hair the next morning, had a leaf in it.
That's a little subtle reminder from
just
your
as a
day.
reminder.
Oh my gosh.
But it kind of turned out okay because then they brought us inside to the shuck bar.
Yes.
And we got to sit at the shuck bar and watch them shuck oysters. And they gave us the free oysters, which were really good.
Well, shucks.
Yeah.
Shucks. It was really, really a cool, we needed that.
Yeah.
And so we did get to sit and see where they do it all. And then we did get that free oyster round. And, Joni and Eric are locals, so they knew how to talk the lingo. And they were they knew about oyster season and where they were from. And Ashley and I were just okay.
Yeah, we were like, sounds great.
We love it all.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So then they take us to our car, Joni and Eric do.
It's a monsoon. It's a hurricane.
It was probably the worst rain I've maybe ever driven in, getting back to our hotel. And then the water in the streets.
That's when I was like, we're in a tropical storm. It's Hurricane Renaissance coming through. We were hydroplaning the whole way to the hotel.
We literally hydroplaned, and we were in a little SUV, we weren't even in a little car. And the streets, I looked at Ashley and I was like, Is the ocean? Are we in the ocean?
Driving in the ocean.
Are we? Is it there? Because we could see a bay or something, and we were it was in the street.
Right.
So just these insane puddles, and Ashley and I are just laughing. I mean, we're just this just makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
It kind of does.
And so we basically float to our hotel.
Floating down the river.
We just, on the pontoon, and we get there and we go to bed. We sleep really good. I took one of Ashley's sleeping pills.
Yeah.
Because I just needed it.
Yeah.
We did get wine at the hotel.
Yeah, we did get wine at the hotel. Sleeping pills and wine.
That's going to be the name of
Brought
this
to you
episode.
by Charleston.
It's just Hurricane Renaissance.
It's like terrifying the people that are like, I wanted to fly in for this event, but now I'm
People are
worried.
I'm terrified of the chain
But
of
you know what?
events.
We never lost our enthusiasm.
No,
Yeah.
it was just humorous.
funny.
Yeah. I just kept saying Mercury was in retrograde.
Yeah.
Mercury's been in retrograde for me for a while.
Yep.
And I was just bringing the bad luck in.
Something was brought.
Something was
Yeah.
in the water.
Something was trying to stop us from like having an amazing time, but we actually
But
ended
you
up
still
having
had a great time.
Yeah.
a great time. And then the next day,
Accomplished so much and killed it.
so
Yeah.
the next day, and this
Okay,
is
so I have a
exciting.
good segue
Segue.
into this. And this will make sense once we explain it. But do you cry when you watch The Notebook?
Every time. I can't not watch The Notebook without crying.
Yeah.
Really?
I own my basic girl.
My mom thinks I'm a psychopath because I don't cry in The Notebook. We talked about this last night, and she was like, "You are the only person on planet Earth that does not cry in that movie."
Interesting.
You know what? This is so funny. I was thinking about you because you've told me about your funny little cry things that you like with the
Yeah.
Uber driver and like just fun. But with things like that, you don't.
No, I'm not.
Like you're not like an emotional.
I'm not in a. I said this the other day to my roommates, and they were like, I said, I cry when it's like about me. Like when it's like, when it's like pertaining to my life or like I'm upset about it, like, yeah, I'll cry. But like when it's about anyone else, like
I get choked up when we talk about Ashley and how much I love Ashley. And like I've cried in front of Ashley before telling her how much I love her. And she's just like, thanks.
that's so on brand.
So on
And like I really do appreciate it. Like I love it. I take it to heart. But I'm
But you're
just
just
like,
like-
I'm not an emotional, like I'm not that kind of crier.
Yeah.
Like
it's funny.
yeah, I'm not real. That's probably why I'm still single. Like I'm just not like I'm
Got
not
some
like
walls up.
yeah. We need to get through
That's
that in
another
therapy.
podcast.
But
Another thing.
yeah, no, I'm just like not sentimental like that. I don't know. I'm just
I get that.
yeah.
I full on sobbed in the movie theater recently. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Walker's like, I'm not like that. I'm a cry. Gardens in the
Yeah.
Galaxy made you cry?
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, yeah. It was very sad. It's because there was like animal abuse in it.
No, I think I would cry at that
it
too.
really screwed me up.
Oh,
It
now
was
I'm
like-
never going to watch it.
No,
I don't know. That's,
well, you don't. I mean, it's a super. I
I've
wouldn't
seen
even
the
imagine.
first one.
It's good, and like it was so emotional, and anyone that's seen it's gonna know. And if you didn't cry during it, you're actually a psychopath. I think.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that's like for real psychopath.
animal
because it was like
abuse?
super sad.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That's awful.
It's like not was I was expecting something lighthearted and like fun and
That
like
was
Marvel.
the day you. That was the day
That's
you.
T Swift.
That was T Swift when
Yeah.
Walker went to the
So I had
movies
to be
by
the
himself.
Uber driver, so I was like, everyone was at the concert. I had nothing to do, so I was like, well, I'll go see a movie. So I went to a movie, hung out, ate some popcorns, got some sour Skittles, had a little Walker day.
You were
That's
crying at Gardens of the Galaxy, and I was crying at the
Yeah.
Cruel Summer Bridge.
That was a really good
emotional.
entrance.
So good.
Yeah.
So the reason she brought up the Notebook,
Yes.
just to circle back, is because the event is located at Magnolia Plantation and Gardens, and parts of the Notebook were filmed at our iconic venue, which Ashley and I just learned.
Yes.
So crazy.
So I need to like paint the picture. So you pull in, Ashley and I like we're driving there. There's not a lot of highways that we took to get there. We took this like cool back road for like 5 miles.
It's a very scenic route to get there.
so scenic to get there, which we love because we really want
To
this
check
event.
because I feel like I may have went there when we went last year, but I'm not entirely sure because I don't remember.
Well, there's a
Yes.
lot of plantations
There
there,
are.
and I guess the Notebook filmed in a lot of different
It did.
areas. But
Yeah.
so when you pull in, you see the big sign, and then there's this like long stretch of like gorgeous, lush Spanish moss swamp land.
And that's where Allie and Noah were in the boat.
The boat scene.
Oh,
scene.
wow.
When he
Yeah.
like confesses his love,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're
That's an
and then
iconic
it rains,
scene.
Yeah.
and then they're drenched and they're so beautiful. And then like they get, he throws the canoe up on the dock, and then is that when they go in and they do the thing?
Of course, this gets brought up on the podcast. No, I thought it was just when they were like frolicking in the boat.
But But that's when it rains and then
I don't know.
I thought it was
like I need to go back and watch the movie. I really haven't watched the movie in a long time. I might cry this time. We'll see.
Oh, well,
now that you've been there may be some
there
emotional.
might be a little more
It may be really
emotion.
triggering for you because like the beginning of the trip was so tough. So maybe
it might be a little triggering, but in a good way.
But yeah, I don't know. When we Googled it yesterday, that it just said the boat scene.
Boat scene, yeah. So we'll have to go back and rewatch. But if you're a fan of that movie, Nicholas Sparks, like you will love this venue because it really is a Charleston dream.
Very beautiful.
So you drive down this gorgeous path and then it kind of takes you to this split and you see the gardens over on your left and the plantation, which is stunning.
Gorgeous.
And then to your right, and for everyone that might be coming, we're going to have a lot of directional signage, which they suggested.
There's also an app too, so you can download the app and it'll have a map to take you everywhere.
And we'll send a lot of emails with maps.
Yeah.
We'll make a really great map.
I think it's. I'm curious because the summit's done in partnership with Vanderbilt at the Wondery, which is awesome. It's a kind of iconic tied to business. But now we're at this beautiful garden, different scenery. What's the thought process there? Change up.
That's a great question. When we were originally supposed to do this event at the College of Charleston, and I was really excited about that because I thought this will flow with the theme of schools and universities coming together to support women entrepreneurs of their community, which is why I love Vanderbilt. But when it didn't work out with College of Charleston, I thought this is another opportunity for us to make this its own unique thing.
Yeah.
And when I had a call earlier today with someone at the Period Project, which we'll talk about in a second, she's in Charleston, and she said, "I'm so surprised you got that venue. Like, no offense, but like I'm just shocked because it's like kind of like always booked. It's one of the top destinations in Charleston."
Yeah.
And when we brought the idea and we got this call, shout out to EventWorks, Leanza.
Leanza is our girl. She's
hooking
amazing.
us up. She connected us to this venue and we had a call and we signed the deal basically in one 30-minute Zoom call because as soon as we started talking about it, the incredible women of Magnolia Plantation, they instantly were like, this is done.
Yeah.
This is done. Here's the price. I almost fell out of my chair.
It's like all the stars aligned.
The stars
aligned.
Yeah.
And I think that really is like a universal way of like, you're supposed to do this.
That's kind of how like I think Charleston fell into play because people ask me and they were asking me last night and like this week, like, well, why Charleston? And I was like, I just love it, but like
love it
all kind of flowed in.
It just makes sense too. It's one of those things that like, you can't really explain it, but like it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Like when we were there, I was like, it just makes sense.
It does.
Like,
it's very
so
much
true.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know.
Charleston is such a great city though. Like for real, it is such an awesome place. The food, I talked about earlier, but I love it. It's so many amazing restaurants. But then I also feel like it's Nashville, but less annoying.
Yeah.
It's got the same type of culture, same like businesses, massive like hub for women-owned businesses, which is really cool. It's like really booming there. But just so many really cool like just like creative-driven businesses that are in Charleston.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's very similar to Nashville in that way.
It feels very Nashville-y.
Yeah,
I don't know
it
why.
does.
I think it's the warmth of the people and like the
Southern
openness.
hospitality's there,
Southern hospitality. Everyone's got that same excitement, I think, to be there and to exist there and to do business there. And so we're going to have our event in their carriage house, which is like this magical space.
Yes, it's beautiful. And it overlooks like the most beautiful like swamp water river, which I know
Beautiful
sounds
swamp.
weird that it's a swamp, but it
is
gorgeous. It kind of like gives you Where the Crawdads Sing vibes.
Yes, it does.
That like so pretty, just gorgeous.
And it has this like gorgeous patio. We just keep saying gorgeous. It has this like patio that's outside of the carriage house where we're going to have our happy hour at the end of the event, which is going to be sponsored and presented by Tipsy.
Gonna get tipsy.
Shout out to Katie Shields, the incredible founder, and Madison LaCroix, who may or may not be a part of the summit. We don't know. More to come.
Yes.
You heard it here first. And it's, it's just going to be such a magical day. We also just announced, if you follow us on social media, one of our keynote speakers, Mimi Striplin.
Whoa.
Huge.
Massive.
Yeah.
So cool.
So Mimi is the founder and CEO of the Tiny Tassel, and I'm going to read some of her accolades because she's just incredible. And Ashley and I had the honor of meeting her last week.
They talk about the stars align perfectly with Charleston. This is like a star alignment.
Even meeting her was kind of a star alignment.
Like everything fell into place.
We weren't actually supposed to meet her. We went. We knew we were going to go to her store, but I think we ended up coming home earlier than we thought we were going to, and scheduling. She's so busy, and we walk into her store, the Tiny Tassel, downtown Charleston. Cutest store I've ever been into in my entire life.
So cute.
Oh my God. We walk in, and I mean, we're both freaking out. We're instantly like shopping. We're both like grabbing things off the shelves. We're like, these pink earrings, like this. Like,
I'm wearing mine today.
She's wearing her Tiny Tassel earrings. They're so everything is so well done and just thought out, and it's just stunning. And we're talking to this beautiful woman that works there, and she's giving us the insight of like, oh, these pieces are from this small business here, and this woman-owned brand here, and whatever. And we're just talking to her, and then she starts asking us where we're from, and I'm like, Nashville, and we're actually gonna have Mimi, who I think I said like, who owns this place or something, like speaking at our event, and she's like, oh, that's my daughter, and we're like, it was. And then we freak out, and then we're like talking.
And then she's like, "Oh, let me FaceTime her."
I FaceTime her.
Yeah, and then Mimi walked in.
And then Mimi answers the FaceTime, and she's like, "I've got these girls' hairs," and she's like, "Oh, Renaissance," and then she's like, "I'll be right there, Mom," and then click, and then she walks into the front door.
How funny.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So Mimi's
awesome.
The founder of the Tiny Tassel, a jewelry, clothing, and accessories brand inspired by the vibrant colors of Charleston, like Walker's shirt. Available online and at the shop's flagship location, located in downtown Charleston. A native of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't read that. Striplin moved to the Holy City to attend the College of Charleston, a liberal arts university where she studied corporate communications. After a short stint in the corporate world, Striplin desired a more fulfilling life, one where she could take control of her time and do what she loves. The result of pursuing the happiness she desires is the Tiny Tassel. The brand took off in 2015 on Etsy, which we talk about all the time. We said all like Etsy store people should come to this event. The craft retailer website where Striplin handcrafted and sold her namesake product, the Tiny Tassel earrings, in multiple colors. In March of 2021, Striplin opened the brick and mortar location of the Tiny Tassel. Today, her shop is still one of two businesses in the historic Spring Street strip occupied by a Black-owned boutique. Among the pastel painted walls and locally sourced Lowcountry chic interior finds, customers will discover comfy garments and beautiful handbags and classic prints in bright and bold colors, as well as vivid hand-beaded jewelry for every occasion and appointed party goods and other accessories from brands Striplin loves. Clothing and headbands are designed by Kiko Striplin, who we met, Mimi's mother, who studied at Bunka Fashion College of Tokyo.
Wow.
Her business and thought leadership have been featured on The Today Show, Good Morning America, as well as Essence, Southern Living, and other publications. So
that's incredible.
That's one of our keynote speakers. She's incredible. She's going to share her story.
She's so cool.
Oh my God.
Like just
well,
like
to come from an Etsy store to like being as big as she is so awesome.
I mean, they ship nationwide, maybe even beyond that. Their store is a destination in Charleston. It is like people just come to Charleston for that store, and you go in and you know why. Everything, like I said, it's, she was cute. She said when she first got our deck and our pitch to have her speak, she was like showing her team, and she saw that everything was pink and purple, and she was like, oh, there are people. Yeah. And I was like, and you're our people. Yep. And it's really cool. They had this like cute little clutch that I almost bought that said support women owned on it, or support women owned businesses. Yeah. And I was just like, you just get that feeling of like, we're kindred spirits. Our brands are so similar. Our missions are so similar. We just want to support women that are, living their Renaissance life, as we say, and lift them up and give them a platform to share their stories.
Well, and it's so cool to go to this city that we don't have a presence in, but then pull from the people that are there, the people that have built these incredible businesses in this city, and we're gonna, use them and support them and have them support us. And it's just a really, really cool concept.
Well, and it's been really cool. I feel like every person we've reached out to has been so like excited about this, and it's like Charleston needs something like this. Like the women at the carriage house, the Leanza, like Tiny Tassels, just everyone, the women at the construction meeting, like everyone has been so like just opened us with welcomed us with open arms. So that's been really fun too. It's just like, again, it feels like the stars are aligned and it's meant to happen.
I'm really excited for it.
Well, you're going to do all the video work, so get ready.
I'm pumped.
It's going to be really good.
It'll be notebook worthy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. So we are going to be supporting a nonprofit that is a national-based nonprofit, but they have a Charleston-specific, South Carolina-specific chapter, and the organization is called The Period Project. And they are an organization that basically supports women through providing needed menstrual items. I'm like looking at Walker and trying to not laugh because he's Walker. But it's crazy to think that there are women that in this country that can't afford tampons and pads and like things that we as women
need
100% need.
Yeah,
and
which
so
should be
this
free.
It should be. Absolutely. And that's why, their mission is to kind of remove the stigma around menstruating and being a woman, and just like wanting to give every single woman the resources that we take for granted all the time, which is, being able to buy tampons and pads when we need them every single month. Hello.
Yeah.
And so we are asking women that attend the event to bring either a box of tampons or pads or liners or wipes. In exchange, they'll get their famous Renaissance swag bag, which is always, which the swag bags will be sponsored by the Tiny Tassel, which we're really excited. They're really
so
cute.
Cool.
And, we're also as a company going to match every single box that's donated. So if somebody decides to bring 2, we're going to match 2.
Yeah.
If they bring 5, we're going to match 5. And it's just really important to me and to our company to just really support these women, and I think in a unique way. And this is an organization that's like, we don't money's great, but we need these products.
Yeah, 100%.
And they do this thing called packing parties where they get a bunch of women together and they make these period packs for women in domestic violence shelters, in schools, in just like certain organizations. And they deliver hundreds of thousands of these period packs to these communities that within Charleston and the surrounding areas that really, really need it. And so I'm just really excited. We just announced our partnership with them. They're going to be there. They're going to speak at the beginning of the event, kind of talking more about the organization. And it just, I don't know. It feels like just its own unique
I think that's
part of this event.
Yeah, I think that's what needed to happen. There's got to be some give back component, which I think this is also a good segue into other news, which there will be other promotion about this and separate, but since we're talking about it now, we may as well say it. We've recently, because of your wonderful idea, restructured how the summit, the entity, the Renaissance Women's Summit, is now directly under the Mona Lisa Foundation.
Yeah.
So as of like last week, the Renaissance Women's Conference, the summit, everything moving forward is a nonprofit.
Yep.
All the proceeds will directly benefit the Mona Lisa Foundation, and obviously like partnership with the Period Project and anyone else we decide to partner with. But yeah, the whole point of this is to now fundraise for the Mona Lisa Foundation, and
I'm so excited about that.
Continue to give back.
I am such a weird person, and I have this issue of compartmentalizing all of my business activities, where I compartmentalize like, got Mona Lisa over here, got Renaissance Marketing Group here, and I've got the summit here, and I've got the podcast here. But really, they all need to coexist.
Yeah.
They do coexist, but in my brain, I've struggled with Mona Lisa, and I'm like, how can I support more women with this? We take one woman under our belt a year, we support her, we give her all of our resources.
This is gonna just expedite everything.
But I was like, how can we help more? And then I was like, duh, Sydney, you do this event for women entrepreneurs. It's all about educating women entrepreneurs. That's what the foundation is.
Yeah.
That's the ethos of the foundation. So now the foundation puts on the summit. It's really not that big of anything other than we will weave more of the foundation. So if you come to our Nashville event specifically, this will be separate for our conferences, but for the summits in Nashville, you will learn more about what we do in the Mona Lisa Foundation. You'll meet our Mona Lisas, you'll meet our mentors, and you will kind of hear more about it. And I'm really excited to have the foundation be more at the center because it really is my heart. And
we'll probably end up doing a separate episode on that because this changes everything for that. Because like the biggest issue that we've had with that was like funding for the Mona Lisa Foundation because it's just been funded by Renaissance and we're just kind of doing what we can. But this is going to expedite everything. Yeah, because it's like,
going to really help us with the funding.
Yeah, with everything.
So it just kind of
cool.
makes sense.
It does, 100%.
Those light bulb business moments.
Yeah.
But
it's like, oh yeah, no shit, we should do this.
Well, Ash, tell us about early bird tickets and other fun Charleston announcements.
So start following Renaissance Women Charleston on Instagram. That's the Instagram. Correct?
Renaissance Women's Charleston. Yes, confusing.
For all the updates, but early bird tickets will go on sale June 1st and be on sale all summer. So don't miss your chance to get your early bird tickets.
So this will be the lowest price ticket offer that we'll do. And it'll run for 2 months. So June 1 to August 1, you can get early bird tickets. And this is just for those that maybe aren't familiar with what we do. This is a day-long event for women entrepreneurs, but also women in business.
Yeah.
I mean, women that just want to be empowered, that want to be inspired. I mean, we have hundreds of testimonials of women who have attended our conferences that say, I just left being more excited about my life and about my work, or I want to now leave my job and start my own business.
It's
or
a lot of that.
Now I'm finally going to take the leap and start a business. And now I'm finally going to try to make my part-time hustle my full-time hustle. Or
you do get a lot of people that are killing it in their job and they're happy and they love it, but they just want to go and network and be inspired and leverage the connections that they make, which we saw a lot of. It's really cool. We see a lot of people that just like mingle at the networking during the summit and they're able to, we should form a partnership. And then they do. Yeah. And it's freaking awesome. It's so cool to see.
What's your favorite part about it?
I think just like all the women connecting. Like everyone's there for like a common goal and common purpose. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Like they're there and they're sitting in the audience and they're all kind of going through their own challenges, obstacles, maybe like mental roadblocks, just, life stuff that we all have. And they reserve that day for themselves, which I think is my favorite thing, that these women have decided to invest in themselves, which I cannot say enough to do, especially when, you're going through a hard time. It's the hardest to actually feel like you deserve to give back to yourself. But like when you give yourself that permission to give back to yourself, magical things happen. Yeah. Real growth happens, like real movement and momentum and, light bulb moments and light bulb connections and true community. And I think for me, I didn't have a lot of women in business friends when I started Renaissance almost a decade ago. I didn't have a community of women entrepreneurs that, wanted to really support me and that I looked up to. I just didn't. I didn't have it.
It was a different landscape back then. I feel like it wasn't. It's funny. Like literally last night, I was talking to, shout out Jamie Rose. We were having a wonderful conversation, and she was just saying like, the community, because obviously I'm speaking from like, I don't know, I'm a guy. And so I just have to like listen and observe and be like, wow, y'all really had to go through it. But, 10 years ago, there wasn't women supporting women kind of thing. Maybe 15 years ago, it was more of like, hey, if a woman got into a top spot at a company or like did her own thing, it's because she had to bust her ass and fight through and like be super competitive towards all these guys that were like, you can't do that, you can't do that. Obviously that still happens now, but there wasn't there wasn't all of these wonderful, Heels and Handshakes, Tennessee Women Connect, like all these great places that you can meet people and connect and really be lifted up and empowered, and the summit and all that stuff.
Well, it's like almost too, the women who were in those power positions were almost shamed for being in those positions,
Judged a little bit.
A little bit. Because it's like you kind of have that mentality of like,
it's sad.
Yeah.
It really hurts. And like we were talking about it the other day, how like if you come in one day and you have to be mean to someone or whatever, you just automatically get labeled as a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me,
that would never happen to
hard.
you.
Yeah,
that would never happen to a man.
Just a hard ass, whatever. It's just Walker. And I think that's so fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful that like it's becoming more even. And I would say like I would rather work for a woman than a dude. Some douchebag.
I know.
I don't want to work for some douchebag. It's
pretty wild when we interview people and they're like, I just want to work for a woman-owned business.
Mm-hmm.
I actually get kind of like shocked when I don't know why I get shocked. I know it makes sense, but I guess I'm surprised because there's so much positive work that's been done on the women in business space.
Yeah.
That I guess I get a little lost in that and I forget that it is still a man's world.
Yeah.
I know. It's very interesting having a roommate that's an attorney because she still very much deals with like the man's world. And I feel like even coming from the events industry to marketing, like I've always been in like just a woman-owned world. I mean, I've worked for companies that men have owned, but I've just feel like the community I've surrounded myself in has always been the like women-owned, women-operated, women empowerment, women uplifting. So I feel like in my professional career, I've never had to deal with any of that, which is really nice. And I feel like it's really helped me get to where I am today because I haven't had to deal with any of that crap.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you haven't. That's like
seriously, it's a big
Renaissance
thing.
wouldn't exist if I hadn't have experienced really. I experienced it at the highest point, I think, of just a man that wanted to control and just be like I didn't have a voice and it didn't matter and it was his way or the highway. And I was just, a young girl and I was very taken advantage of and like it was not a great situation.
No.
And
Sad.
but thank God that happened because of this and what was born because of it. And I was like, F that. I never ever want that and I never want that for my employees and my employees will never have to experience that.
Yeah.
And that's just not the way that anyone should have to live their life.
Yeah.
And, certainly
it's so
when you're
up.
in your most impressionable young, point, as a young professional who just wants to crush it.
Yeah.
And like,
That was always what's so crazy to me. Like I never cared, like at all. I never like thought of, and I don't think about it now of like a woman-owned business being any different than like a man-owned business. I don't give a shit. Well, like
I think they're better.
Yeah, they are. But like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like, it doesn't like, I'm not going to be like, she can't do it. Like, that's so stupid. Or, like, I don't get why someone would ever think that way.
I know,
that
but
makes no sense to me.
think you believe you came from strong women. You have a great
100%.
mom.
Yeah,
two strong
I think
sisters.
that's the biggest part of it is like having
that is what you've always known is strong women in your life. So
my dad has never been right once, so of course I just always have to think women are right.
He's never been right.
He's never been right.
Well, okay, so we're gonna wrap. Charleston, we ended up having the tail end of it was good because
it was a great trip overall.
It was memorable.
It was memorable.
We ended up going to Rainbow Row, which for anyone listening that's coming to the event that maybe hasn't been there, I had been to Charleston, but I had never been to Rainbow Row, and we were like destined to find it.
Yeah.
Because it's not right on the main strip.
No.
Yeah.
It's like
kind of
off. But I like where it is. We found a really cute hotel rooftop.
We did.
Too.
We did. We were going to go to a meeting that we decided we weren't going to go to because we wanted to go to Rainbow Row. And then we looked at each other and we were like, did we go to the drink?
And we were like,
Get a drink.
And so we went and had rosé on a rooftop.
Yeah.
But Ashley and I have to describe this. Ashley and I walking down Rainbow Row was probably from like an outsider's perspective, the funniest thing you could see. We were like little kids
in a candy shop.
In a toy store, like the most magical toy store. We were we were in awe
it's so
of the
beautiful
beauty. And then you walk and it's cobblestone.
Yeah.
And then you walk up and you see the ocean.
And we're both ocean people. And we had a funny conversation about cruise ships.
Oh yeah, we did. We both don't like cruise ships.
We both realized that we really don't like cruises or cruise ships because there's a huge cruise ship, and we were just having a funny conversation about that. And then we walked back to Rainbow Row, and we both were like, we don't want to leave. And it was the most beautiful day.
Yeah, it was a gorgeous day,
and it was just magical. And it was just so funny because I feel like I'm so funny when I'm like in that like mental state or whatever, where most people are like judging me and they're like, okay, yeah, like Nick's like, cool, yeah, it's pretty cool. Take a picture, it'll last longer, let's go. And Ashley was just so on my wavelength where she was like videoing literally everything. And I was like, I love that we're both on the same page here. It was so good.
And like there's a bridge. I love a bridge
We love
over
a
water.
bridge.
Like this is great.
It's
I'm
a
like,
good bridge
I'm like
too.
there are boats.
Oh yeah.
It was
I was
just
texting
like
my dad.
air.
I was like, why didn't we vacation here growing up? I
Well,
was
yeah,
like,
because if your dad's a history guy, they got the USS. It's a battleship on the other side of the river.
There's a lot of history.
yeah, there's
so
a
much
lot
history.
of history there. It's really cool.
So
There was
that's Virginia?
like the Rainbow Row had like the historical signs, and there was like a tour happening that we were kind of listening in on, like a walking tour, and we were kind of like, huh.
We
but
did.
It was magical.
When we were there, we did a carriage tour. So we were just in a carriage.
I think we
getting
saw
pulled
one of
by
them.
the
We
horse.
saw the horse. Yeah, I got
He was talking
excited.
to us. It was so cool because we went through
Apparently,
everything.
it's called the slave market. And that's really cool. My mom's been there, and it's where slaves back in the day used to go to like buy the goods and buy everything, but it's just like open air shops. And it's like
I think we went
produce and like my mom said it's really, really cool.
Man, we were not there long enough.
Yeah.
We need
No,
to.
you
We
gotta
are
go.
going back.
Yeah, we will be. You got to spend like a week there because we only did like 3 or 4 days, and it was a lot. You know, like we wanted to cover more.
Yeah.
So we just got to go back to Charleston.
I know. I kind of want to go. Well, I have a wedding there in November.
Yeah.
Shocker that it's me and not you.
I know, shocking.
Yeah, that is surprising.
And then our conference is December 6th.
Yes.
So
save the date. It's a
save the
great
date.
Christmas present.
Yep.
Companies
Yeah.
to purchase for your employees. It's a great Christmas present.
I know. I can't wait to
It's a
get our
good
team out
marketing
there
angle.
Yeah.
and like just everyone. We need to like plan a fun team dinner like the night before or something like celebrate. Like it's
big.
gonna be iconic.
It's a pretty
so
big
cool.
milestone to be,
Expanding.
2 summits in and only 2 events in and expanding to a new city that we've got no presence in.
No, and it's just happening, and it's amazing, and
We've
I feel
said it
so
on
lucky.
this podcast before, and I'll say it again. Jump right in.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Don't whatever. Be like Sydney and just say, yeah, we'll just do it. Figure it out.
Well, and I
Be
feel
like
like
Nike. Just do it.
Literally,
Like
just do
Nike.
it. Don't wait on
Like
anything.
Sydney.
Who gives a shit? What do we have to do? One more summit and then be like, I think maybe we can do the conference in Charleston.
do it.
Maybe the approach I would have said to take, but
Well, and also, we're being, even though it sounds like we're just like, I'm thinking of ideas and I'm making them happen. Like there's a lot of strategy that goes into it. There's a lot of connections that have been helping me, pointing me to the right areas. And then, thankfully Renaissance Marketing Group is a strong foundation, and we're able to service clients, and, it's hard, but we're doing well as a company and as an agency. And so because of the amazing work our team does and just like the talent of the team, we were able to go to Charleston. Ashley and I were able to take 36 hours and do this trip. And we worked a lot while we were there. We need to let people know there was a lot of laptops open.
We took some content at the gardens of product shots.
Mm-hmm. We did a rooftop work session.
We did
a lot of hot spotting in random places.
We did content at the airport when we were waiting for our second flight. We had about 3 hours and we were like, well.
And we took the pictures in the garden. Yeah, we were always thinking of ways to
we should
create
say
content.
for the people that are going to travel in for this, it's an hour and a half flight from Nashville.
Just don't miss your flight.
Don't miss your
just
flight.
don't miss it.
But when
it's
you
such a quick flight. Southwest, it's fantastic.
it was Southwest flight.
Southwest
was
is the best. It's so good. Direct flight to Charleston, hour and a half. It's great.
Yeah. So, well, we will be back next week for another episode.
Yes.
We're going to be doing more solo episodes on the podcast this summer because we kind of miss this. We've just missed this rapport that we have. And that's why we started this show, is because Walker and I can't ever stop talking. And so we're going to be back. So, Ashley will be back. We'll have more. We're going to get Maddie back.
We got to get Maddie back on.
We got to get Lily on. I feel like she would just...
Leanne's got a lot to say.
She does. And I like her perspective.
We could do Leanne, a true crime edition.
I like that.
That'd be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Leanne's our graphic designer, and she's amazing, and she's 20.
Yeah.
She's about to be 21.
Yeah.
But I forget that she's so young because she seems like she's 40. But she's 20 and she's amazing.
It's very funny.
Well, thank you guys for listening, and we hope to see you in Charleston December 6th.
Yes.